Catchy Connie and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Well, good evening. Good Monday. Good evening, Monday evening, right? Mondays always seem to be the toughest. Although, if you think about it, if you had Mondays off, Tuesday would be the hardest, right? And then if you had Tuesdays off, Wednesday would be the hardest. And we could just go on and on. The whole week is a hard week when you've had a day off before. But here we are, and we're here together, and we're going to talk about, yay! I'm glad you're joining me.
Oh, I gotta put eyebrows on.
Okay. We're going to talk about what it's like or how it is to be the light in the storm. Okay, say that you're, let's just do some examples, like you're the lighthouse and the big ship in the dark is coming and you've got to show it the way to the right path, right?
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to be that lighthouse because are they paying attention? Are they going to hit you and knock your light out? Yeah, I think they like to do that. I think they like to knock your light out. And it's up to you to be that beacon of light. Hello, KMM. It's up to us to be that lighthouse and to show people that there's another way to live. I have a little story to tell that happened to me today. And, I think sometimes the Lord shows us things for a reason. Sometimes you miss them because you're so busy, caught up in your own little world or your own little trials and tribulations. You miss the little parts that come to you. But I had a little gal that came in today. Hey, Sputsy. I had a little gal come in today, and she was in her 50s, and she was special needs. And I was adjusting her glasses for her, and the only complaint she had about life, and she smiled the whole time she told me to, her complaint about life was she didn't have Match Game on her TV. That was her complaint. One of those easy fix, get YouTube, watch all of the reruns you want to. But that was her complaint, something easily taken care of, right? And after I got through with doing the adjustment and she waved at me and smiled real big and out the door she went, I went in the other room and I stood there for a minute and I thought, wow. What would life be like if the only thing you worried about is you didn't have Match Game on TV? What a beautiful world.
Right.
Because we're all worrying about who's doing what to who, or who's going to try to get who, or what our government is doing to the people, or what kind of filth and vile spewage is coming out to cause the division that continues to happen. This is all of our stuff, right? This is our stuff. And all that she could worry about was whether she was going to go to Dairy Queen and have her chicken strips and whether she was going to get Match Game on her TV.
Bless her heart.
Right. I went into the lab and thought to myself, man, there's the life right there. Or when I came home tonight and my dogs were so happy to see me. They've been home all day long, and the one thing they wanted to see was me walk through that door. And I thought, wow,
Wouldn't life be so easy?
right? To have that kind of unconditional love, to be that light. And I thought, my dogs are my light at the end of the tunnel.
Right, right.
They're not going to yell at me. They're not going to scream at me. They're not sitting here contemplating on how they can get treats. Well, that may not be true. They might be trying to figure out how they can trick
Right.
me into treats.
Right.
But I mean, little things like that. And we have such a big plate of nothing but vile spewage. And we allow all of that to continue.
Right.
How
Right.
was your day?
I'm busy.
Busy?
Before I go any further, I would like to ask for prayers for my mother to give her the strength to do what she needs to do.
Okay.
There's a family issue going on.
Okay.
My mother's not
that?
a strong-willed person per se. She's
Non-confrontational.
she's a giver and non-confrontational, and this could cause a lot of problems. But anyway, busy doing paperwork and stuff for her. Anyway, watched the kids, and it's so cute now because the little one is crawling and sitting on his own.
There you go. One step
And-
at a time.
Right. And he's trying to figure out how to pull himself up. So he's going to be 9 months old in next week. So, but it's just so cute now because Ellie Mae will get on the floor and they'll sit there and just looking at each other, they start laughing and giggling. And
There's your light.
and she'll get his toys to give to him to play with, and you can just see it tickles him pink that she's finally paying attention to him, because before she just he was just a clump of human.
Just sitting there, and all it did was eat and cry.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So now he's on the floor and he's getting around, and it's just so cute. Just so cute to watch the two of them. And I was thinking what a blessing it was for them to be so close, and hoping that they can grow up in a loving sibling relationship.
And continue to stay close.
Exactly.
Right.
Because in the end, all they're going to have is each other.
Right. Nope, that's right.
And it's horrible, when families divide. I'm not
Right.
saying divorce or anything like that. I'm just saying it, when you have two siblings, I think are good. Anything more than that, it's an issue. It can be an issue.
It can be.
It can be an issue because you always have somebody that has to be the tiebreaker, and one or the other is going to get mad at you.
Well, and if you only have one sibling like I had, there was no tiebreaker.
Right. Well, there was 4 of us, but one of my brothers passed away, so there's 3 of us, and the odds were even at one point 2-2,
Mhm.
and now it's 2-1, and it is what it is. So
that's when we say prayers.
yes, and so I'm very, very happy to see the 2 of them, and I'm going to do all I can to instill sibling love to them.
Right.
And
Right,
that's
that's
instilled in
important.
my boys. I mean, they're going to have arguments, and they disagree. My boys, just like all siblings do. I don't live
Absolutely.
in la la land, But and they're finding their way back to each other. So I'm grateful for that.
I'm pretty fortunate. My two are very close. Very close. So I'm lucky there. I'm sometimes that third wheel. I'm the one that it's like I don't get to be the tiebreaker. I get to be
Right.
the one that's on the other side, and one of them are being the tiebreaker.
Right.
And
No, my boys were always really close, but situations and circumstances put a rift between them. And then my older son had kids and my younger son didn't have kids. So he's like, why do I want to go over my brothers and hang out with and they got to deal with the kids? I don't want to hear that.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, but now they both have kids, so that's good. They
Yeah.
get to
Now
share.
they both, yes. Now they both have kids. So that is a blessing. Thank goodness.
Kim, ma'am, happy birthday to your grandson. I
Oh,
bet he did have a good birthday. That makes him what, 2?
how
Oh, the
wonderful.
twos. The
How
twos. What a
wonderful.
beautiful age. I love it.
But he's a good boy, she said. So
Yeah. Twos are when they run everywhere they go. They don't walk anymore. They've learned to walk, and now they're going to run to whatever it is they're going to because they've got high energy and they run to everything they want to go to. It's funny. That's 2 is when the mother is at the grocery store chasing their kid in the grocery store.
he's 2, yeah.
Oh, and he has curls. Oh, how sweet. That's sweet.
How adorable. How adorable.
So
Enjoy his cake.
I bet he did.
But
All over him. So today Trump came out with, and I want to say, because I just heard it, came out with that Tylenol is what's causing
autism.
Okay, so it's the mother taking the Tylenol during being pregnant, right?
But that's
And
all you can take.
Well, see, didn't they tell you? Or they told me, somebody, and I think maybe it might have been me. I don't know. But they told somebody, because I heard it. They said, I can't take anything but Tylenol.
Yeah, that was me. That's what they told my daughter-in-law. The only thing she could take while she was pregnant was Tylenol.
Wow.
And in their first few months, if the child gets sick, they only give them Tylenol.
See? And now they're saying this causes autism. Boy, is that an agenda or what?
Oh, well, that's good for him.
That's awesome.
He
That's awesome.
He sounds like
Boy,
my
there's an agenda. There's an agenda, isn't it? Give him Tylenol. Give him a bunch of Tylenol. Well, we all knew that Tylenol does something to the liver.
Right. Right.
This is going to be interesting to see how all of this unfolds. If the company of Tylenol is going to have a fit and decide that they'll just get in line and sue Trump.
And you know what? I mean, and truthfully, Tylenol is the brand. It's acetaminophen.
Right.
So he's going to be corrected and he's going to be snarked at and they're going to have comments like they always do. But I mean, everybody knows that most of Tylenol is acetaminophen.
Right, and that's what they're saying is causing the autism is the acetaminophen.
Right. And I'm one of the people that have to only take Tylenol because I'm allergic to ibuprofen.
Well, I'm surprised that wasn't in the group too, but
yeah.
They say you can give your babies more. Motrin was the big one with my niece's baby, what is now a teenager. Said I can't give him Tylenol, but I can give him Motrin.
Right, and now they're saying Tylenol and not Motrin.
Well, see, who knows? Yeah, well, there might be an agenda there. We need to pay really close attention to that.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I would not want to have a baby in this day and age. Oh, it's too scary.
Right.
Stuff in the food, and then I mean, in KMM, you probably are well aware of all the tests that they have to go through. They go through bone scans of the baby, they go through genetic scans, they go through this, they have ultrasounds, they have this test, that test, blood work to make sure the kid doesn't have any deformities, and blah 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 blah. It would scare me enough not to have a kid, and if I was pregnant, it would scare me not to have another one.
Well, I don't know how ours survived because none of mine went through any of that.
I got I think with my older son, I think I got one ultrasound towards the beginning of my pregnancy, and with the other one, I think I had two. And you couldn't even tell what it was. You couldn't even see like that little baby laying there in that little nice nuzzled pillow of theirs. It's like, and there's like this line, and it's like, well, that's their arm. And I'm like, are you really?
I know it. Who knows? I think I had one also with each child. If I had one, I think I had one on both of them.
Well, you had 80 babies too, right?
I had, yeah. Yep. Yep. So we were talking today, and a lot of the girls at work are my age or a little bit older. There's a few younger than me. But I was looking at each and every one of them, and I'm going to tell you something. And I don't know, this is my own personal opinion, but my brow lines right here get deeper and deeper and deeper. And I thought, you know what? I need to put tape right here so I don't have those brow lines. And then I thought, you know what? No, I am proud of those brow lines because most of the time I'm looking over going, what? What? You're saying what now? What's going on? And it's just not computing, and they're getting deeper. Deeper.
Well,
So
that's like I said about
crazy.
this line here. This line bugs me to no end.
It's like,
But it is what it is. I'm older. Don't look
what's
at me.
those
You don't
muscles
like
we
me.
use more? What? What? You said what? Or why? Why?
Right.
And they just get deeper and deeper. So one of the girls at work said, well, you need to stop doing that. Oh yeah, okay. I'll just stop. That
Because
isn't
I
gonna
always
happen.
control my face when I'm thinking or saying something.
Well, and I have one of those real expressive faces. My daughter does too. So I told her, don't do this, okay? Even if someone looks at you and you don't understand them, go, keep it going up. Well, then you get those lines that go up. So can your browser hold a penny? No,
I guess you know that's when it's real bad.
right? Almost. I'll tell you what, I bet it can hold water. They're probably, yeah. Yeah. Well, with so many things that we hear, don't you find yourself going, huh? What?
Yeah.
That wasn't like when I was growing up. What? They're saying what now?
Yeah.
I have to ask all the time, where'd that come from? Or what? Why?
Right.
And my face is that expression face that's like, or I'll even be standing back and looking going,
Right. That's my favorite one. Like,
and there'd be I don't even have to say anything. They're like, I don't think she understands what's going on here.
right.
Or she's questioning something.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I got the puppers are both getting mad at each other. It's like, hey, look, my lap is only so big here. Okay, so we're gonna get along. It's all right to agree to disagree, guys. All right, I think they're all right now. Do I hear them?
Yeah.
Do you hear them? One's getting mad at the other one. Hear it? Oh. You guys got to play and be nice. Be nice, or you'll both go down. So I want to know how everybody else's day went. Was it a wonderful Monday, or was it a Monday, Bloody Monday? I don't even know what
We had
happened.
rain this morning.
We had what?
We had rain
Did you good?
with a little bit of thunder.
Good. We got a little rain. Very little. We got some.
Well, that's good for you.
Right? They put in the news that the only way for us to get out of our drought is we're going to have a hurricane.
Ugh.
How about that? Don't you like that? There's that. What? What?
Yeah,
What are you
right,
talking about? I don't think so. Why are you even talking hurricane right now?
Right, right,
When I heard that, I was like, I don't think so.
right. It's like, can we just get through September, please?
Yes, we had a very blessed Monday. We had a couple sprinkles. We did. We had a couple sprinkles here and there. And you know what? I'll take it. Sometimes we get so much rain that it just runs off
Yeah,
because we're so dry. We
Yeah.
need a little bit at a time to soak into the ground.
right,
Crazy,
right.
guys. It's crazy. And one of my friends showed me chemtrails all over the sky, and I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna get a lot of rain.
Yeah,
See, you had a ton of rain and you needed it. We need a ton of rain, but I don't want to have a hurricane to get that rain.
no,
No desire.
no.
Because it brings all kinds of, well, it brings out people that don't have fences that take showers in their backyard. And we have discussed that.
Yes.
And it traumatizes the one that's watching. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Yeah. Yeah. So I need
But
to
it's
quit
one of
watching.
those things that you can't stop looking because it's like, is that
You're in
really
shock. Is that really what I'm seeing?
Right,
Are
right.
they really doing that? There's got to be clothes there somewhere. Nope. Nope. Yeah, there's not. I mean, we got to laugh, guys. I'm sorry. We got to laugh because there's so much stuff out there to not laugh about.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Destiny. Have you ever heard of Destiny?
Like the word
No,
or
the person. He goes by Destiny.
mm-mm.
And he's a very hard left person and he argues all the time. And he said it wouldn't hurt his feeling if all conservatives that went to all of these rallies got shot. And I just sat there listening, thinking, don't be spewing your hate. Don't be spewing your hate. Don't make that line any deeper than it's already, because some of us are trying to shovel the dirt back in that line.
Right.
We don't want that division.
And if I have to see
Good night,
one,
K-Ma'am. Have a good night.
oh, good night. Thank you for the words from my mom, KMM. Thank you for the prayers. It if I have to see one more rotten comment on a post about Charlie Kirk, and if I have to see, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing Charlie Kirk, but if I have to see one more conspiracy theory, he was
Right.
shot from under the table. He was shot from the back. There's no way that kid, he's not a kid. He was 20 years old.
22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay. He's not a kid. And he's been shooting guns his whole life.
Mhm.
He could have made that shot. I've read comments from men that are professed, hunters that go every year.
Mhm.
And it's like that shot with the scope is so easy with the gun he had. And then they said, well, there was no exit wound. Well, the bullet was stuck in his bone. But I read last night online. Again, you can't believe everything you read.
Ever.
But sometimes you just get that feeling that it's true. And you guys can disagree with me. It doesn't matter. It's my opinion. But the sheriff, when Erica got to the hospital to identify her husband or see her husband is how they worded it, the sheriff tried to, in a very gently way, explain to her that His wounds were extensive. And basically, he had no back. It was gone from the exit wound because that type of bullet would take out all of the everything in its path. And it was a downward trajectory. And everybody's saying, no, it was an upward trajectory. Now people are saying, no, he got hit in his chest, but he had on a sniper, something, a bulletproof vest, but it's for snipers, I guess. And it bounced off of that and went into his neck. And it's like, you just get tired of seeing
All
it.
the story.
Please
all
let
the
the man rest in peace. Please stop saying crappy comments about him, his wife. It's, and then my son came home today and he's like, they're saying that he faked his death. I said, no, he's dead.
Oh my God. See, it just goes on and on and on.
I said, he is definitely dead.
Yes.
Yes, there's things that people can't piece together, but that's why there's called an investigation. And, the one thing I truly believe is that they did contaminate the crime scene when they took the chair that he was sitting on and stood on it to take down the camera. That puzzles me. And then there was somebody that said the camera was what shot him. If the camera shot him, you would have seen this explosion come out of his body because there is an exit wound. And they said, and there were avid hunters saying a 30-06, depending on the ammunition, but most of it will never lodge in a bone. And somebody said he shot 1,000-pound elk. And it leaves an exit wound, even in something that tough. And the bones are much tougher than ours.
Right.
Can you believe it? What he said, did he shoot 1,000-pound elk? I don't know. But that makes more sense to me than a 30-06, the bullet getting lodged in a bone. And last time I checked, there's no bone right here.
Cartilage.
And it's not going to go in his neck and get lodged in your spine because, your spine is like this. So it would go through or like this, however you want to do it. It would go in and shatter it. So, why are we rehashing this? How about just he's dead? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your theory on where the bullet came. It doesn't matter on, quit trying to decipher everything.
Right.
Yeah, and they did say this again, you can't believe everything you read, but in the same article, they did say that he was dead within 0.4 of a second.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. They said pretty much it was.
He really didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Pretty much it was. He said his last word, he blinked and he was with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? And maybe he was going like, what the hell happened?
I'm sure his soul was like, whoa.
Right. And then there's stories out there that he knew it was coming. And, I'm going to tell you something. If you are a public figure and you go out and you speak and you have thousands of people there, there's always going to be at least one person that doesn't like you. Mm-hmm. And depending on their mental status or just their beliefs, because you don't have to be crazy to do something like that. And there's always going to be one person.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they all should have a shield, like a triangle shield around them, because this has got to stop.
All of it's got to stop. And they say, well, take the guns away from everyone. You think that's the answer? They tried to take all of the booze away from everybody too, and look where that went.
Right.
People made millions selling moonshine.
And now the other thing is that I guess I didn't hear this before. There was $1 million like Crime Stopper reward money for to finding the killer. And because his dad turned him in, his dad's getting the $1 million.
Oh, well, he'll probably have to use it for the defense.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Is that true?
Who knows?
I mean, did you ever hear that there was $1 million reward for anybody?
No, I knew there was quite a bit for someone to turn him in, but I didn't know it was.
Was there?
I didn't hear
See,
a million.
I didn't hear about that.
I did. I heard there was, but I thought it was like 400,000. I didn't hear it was $1 million.
And that's what I'm saying. This says this says that, this says this says that. Just stop. Let his wife finish grieving and stop bringing it up. Do you think she really cares where he was when he shot that bullet? Do you think she really cares if a 22-year-old could make that shot? Do you think she cares about any of that? Trying to explain to two small children?
Yeah, see, that's what I heard it was, Donna. It was a Mauser. It was a Mauser. It was his grandfather's gun. And the thing about it is the Mauser doesn't have a serial number on it during that time. So it would be a weapon that could not be traced. Well, okay, so you think that all of these, if you took all of the pew-pews away from everyone,
Right.
do you think that there won't be some coming in the black market that didn't have serial numbers? I mean, here's my thing. If you take the guns away from the outlaws, only outlaws will have guns.
Well, yeah, because they're going to get them. They get them now from the black market. They get them off the streets.
It's
And
amazing what you can get on the dark web. It's incredible.
Maybe one suggestion I have is finding another way of getting a serial number on it, so it can't be scrubbed off.
Well, look at Diddy had 2 guns with the serial numbers scratched off.
That's
And
what I'm
that didn't
saying.
even get put into court.
That's what I'm saying.
Pushed
It's
aside.
too easy. It's too easy to do that. Why don't they? I don't know anything about guns, you guys, and I'm not going to pretend I do. So I'm just going to throw this out here. Why don't they put it inside the muzzle, the barrel? Why don't they put it inside? Why don't they put it inside there? Or by firing it, would it damage, and wear it away?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The velocity of the bullet would end up wearing that away. But why couldn't they? Why can't they put it like inside the stock of the rifle that they put the wood over the top of? Right.
I was thinking the same thing, like the handle. But then you have your Glocks and stuff like that.
But you can still put it underneath there. You could have it underneath because they're still put together as 2 pieces, but there's still the mechanisms inside that work. So why can't the serial number go inside where it can't be taken off? You'd have to get the whole gun apart.
My suggestion: don't be threatening taking the guns away. You have a right to have a gun. I have a gun. I have a little bitty,
Right. No, you're right. If the serial number's off, it's a crime.
Right.
It is a crime. It is a crime. And it usually means that weapon has been used at a crime. Okay. That's the reason the serial number's gone. That's why it becomes a crime.
Exactly.
But again, Diddy went through court, went through all of that, and it wasn't even brought up again. And he had 2 of them.
And I know that they have ballistics that they can do. But that's only if they have a shell casing and the gun. You know what I'm saying? But can't they come up with something, how they have, I can't think of the proper name for it now, but like all of the offenders or prisoners, I should say, all of the prisoners or criminals or whatever you want to call them in a database so that if they put the DNA in, it hits and shows who it is? Can't they do something like that with ballistics? Put it in there if they have a gun that was involved in a crime without a serial number or something on it. Can't they download the information and the data and keep it in there and then fire it again and compare it?
They do. They do. In fact, you know, they knew that that gun belonged to his grandfather. That was the whole thing. That's why the grandfather was like, wait, where's my gun? There's only so many out there anymore that are still in working condition. My thing is the shell casing. They found the shell casing that he engraved on. Apparently, they found the shell casing he engraved on. Where'd
And
they
the
find
other ones
that?
he had sitting there.
Yeah. Where'd
Or
they find
in the
one?
gun.
Where'd they find the shell casing? Who knows? Somebody will have a good story for that one too. I don't know. I think they're coming up with all kinds of stories how all these other people helped him. He didn't do it alone. It was a mafia. I mean, basically, it was a mafia gangster, whatever, standing behind him, making him blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't believe he had any help.
No.
I think he just did it by himself, and there's a lot of other stories being spun on it.
There's one thing that I heard that kind of went, that it was his transgender girlfriend that put him up to it because, you know, everybody knows that he's against transgender and blah, 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 blah. So they're saying that they think that the two of them plotted and he would do it.
Well, and the transgender girlfriend is the one, or boyfriend or whatever, is testifying and telling all and is cooperating. So why would you cooperate? Well, I guess to keep yourself out of jail, right? So we'll never really know unless and what's his name? Lance?
I didn't hear that, but they said, I heard that the girlfriend, whatever, knew about it and she didn't call the police and she could be an accessory before the fact. I've never heard of accessory before the fact. I've heard of accessory after the fact.
Well, there was 20 people that knew. And if you listen to Jumpsuit Pablo on here, there were people in prison that knew about it. Now, how does that work? That he had put it out there on Discord and everybody knew.
See what
So,
I'm saying?
I don't know. Did he want to go down in history? I mean, if this is his way of going down in history to be infamous,
Well,
is
I
that
mean,
the way you want to go down? I mean, I don't want to go
right.
down like that. That's not at 22 years old.
He
Going
really
down, and it
did.
doesn't make you a hero. It makes you a zero loser.
He ruined his life. Whether he was put up to it or whether he did it on his own or whether he plotted it with his girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, he ruined his life.
Bottom line is he did it.
Right. That's
He acted on it and he did it.
right.
And he's got to stand the consequences. And if the partner is an accessory and egged him on and helped him along with getting, then that one needs to go down too.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's the bottom line.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the bottom line.
That's it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what angle, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and now they're trying to say that the
Yeah.
video, I'm sure everybody has seen the video with Erica at the coffin, you know, by his hands and stuff.
Hmm.
They're saying that that wasn't even him, that it was mannequin hands with rubber over it. You know, the only thing that looked odd about it was his fingernails to me. but cameras don't always pick everything up.
Well, and have you ever seen a corpse that looks like the person?
Well,
I'm going to tell you,
that's what
I
we were
never
talking
have really.
That's
That
what we
they
were
never,
talking about.
yeah, they really don't ever look.
No,
I mean, they resemble, but what makes us what we are is our soul inside.
right.
And this is
They
nothing.
never look
This
like
right here is nothing but a house to have our soul live in, right? That's it. That's all this is. This is just
right.
a meat suit for our soul to live in, right? So when the soul disappears, after you pass and the soul disappears, a part of you is gone.
Right.
The part of you that everyone loves, the part they see. So I've never seen one that has ever truly looked like the person anyway.
Mm-mm.
I saw my grandma, and
No.
I mean, to this day, I thought, was that really her?
Right. And I said that about my grandmother too.
Was that really her in there?
I don't know how they have a way of smoothing out wrinkles, but they did with my grandmother. Please let us know.
Right?
But like even my brother, he didn't look like himself, but he looked more like himself than when he was in the hospital. He was bloated and
Right.
all blown up and everything, and they drained all that fluid out of him, so it was back to the body shape that we were used to.
Normal, right?
But
And like I said, we could sit here and say if what, why.
right, exactly. And that's
You
what
know,
I'm saying. And another controversy is about the size of the casket. That when it came off the plane, 3 people could barely carry it, being next to each other. And he was supposedly 6'3", and the casket's only 6 foot, but the one that came off the plane seemed to even be shorter than that. And how is that possible that they transported the 6'3" man? Blah, 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 blah. Well, let me tell you something. And I know this for a fact, and I don't mean to speak ill of any dead, and I don't mean to be morbid or gross. But I have heard that they have had to break bones to get people in caskets. I've heard, these are things people don't know that go on.
well, most of the time they have just the bottom. Sometimes I guess they have the whole casket open, but sometimes just the top part. You don't
Right.
know what's going on in the bottom part.
Exactly.
So,
And I can guarantee you, not very many of them have shoes on, and I doubt they have socks on, because I don't remember bringing socks and shoes to the funeral home for my dad.
I sit here and I think I wish I knew the real truth. I wish I could see a video that really showed the real truth of exactly what happened on both angles. Him up there, a close up in him, and but
Right.
if wishes were horses, we'd all take a ride.
Well, exactly.
So
Donna, exactly.
we're never going to know the
Mhm.
exact everything. Well, I mean, these are things that we find out after we pass. The real
Right.
story. Here's the real story, as Paul Harvey would say.
Right.
Um,
Exactly. And your body is no longer alive. So everything starts deteriorating immediately,
mhm.
and that's why they have to use the makeup. I mean, what would you do if you walked in and this happened back in the olden days, like the early 1600s, before they started using makeup, when they still had the bodies in the home. Like my grandmother had a brother that passed away. And that's where the word funeral parlor, if anybody didn't know this, I'll give you a little history lesson. The funeral parlor came because that's what a parlor in the home was for, is when family members passed away, you would put them in the parlor for people to come pay their last respects. So that's where that came from. But imagine the horror that they had to go through, because I mean, I know they were inventing embalming and all of that, and they were trying it. But I don't think it was, they didn't use makeup and all that back then. I mean, I'm talking probably 1920 is when he passed away. Something like that, maybe.
Well, and I thought that during that time that they buried them rather quickly. They didn't wait for a whole lot of time. It was like a day or two, and that was that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, due to the extent of my brother's extent, he had his own business. So my parents chose to lay him out for 2 days. I mean, when we walked in the second day, I immediately went and got the funeral director, and it's like, before my mom and dad walk in here, can you do something? You could see his hands were getting black. And my parents didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see that, but my parents didn't need to see that, So, I mean, it happens. Everything. There's no circulation. There's no blood. There's no oxygen. There's no nothing. So, I mean, they do the best they possibly can with what
It's
they're
that
given.
home where no one's lived in it. Get it, guys? It's the home that no one lives in anymore.
Exactly. There you go. But my whole point in conversation of all of this is that, I'm tired of reading the conspiracy theories. I get that if you think you are, or you are a gun expert, yes, the shot could be made, and let's just leave it at that. Not the trajectory. And, well, if he was aiming for the center mass and he pulled back, then that's why it would. Why? Do you realize that his kids are going to see all of this one day?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be horrified. I would be horrified to go on the internet when I was a teenager and read all of this stuff. It's like, why couldn't they just let my daddy be?
Right.
And
Right.
the craziest ones. And I know there's controversy over some celebrities' deaths, and we've talked about Elvis.
Okay. You want to hear a conspiracy? I got to throw this out there. And I looked over and I said, you guys have got to be kidding me right now. I don't believe one bit of that. And I said, and I refuse to even listen to it. They said, well, Erica has already got another boyfriend.
That is appalling. That is appalling.
Who started that rumor? Sick.
And who ran with it? I'll tell you who started it, and I'll tell you who ran with it.
And it's
hard to figure out.
Yeah, and it's sick. It's sick. It's like, okay, now it's time to let this family rest. They've lost one of the most important people in their lives, and it's time to let them rest.
Exactly.
Let them take time and reflect. I mean, it's unbelievable. You want to talk good about him and the remembrance of him? That's amazing. That's what life's all about. Reflecting the good things. I don't know how many people have said, you might have known the biggest jerk in the world, and when he passed away, he was the best person in the world. After he passed, everybody had all the best stories in the world to talk about that person.
Because you remember the good times.
And that's what we need to continue to do. We don't need to. It is, Donna, it is. It's demonic.
It is. Yes.
And we need to be that beacon of light that says, no, we're not going there. We're not going there. I'm not listening to that. I don't believe that. No.
And we should all still be praying for his wife and for his children. Those children have a long life ahead of them. Mm-hmm. And I know personally, I will keep them in my prayers for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
Because I know I won't be here well beyond them being here.
And hello, Whoopi. It's good to see you.
You know,
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. We can all say, well, they'll be well taken care of financially. That's not the point. That's not the point. Think about that. That's not the point. The point is the loving, the kindness, the embrace, the embracing, the learning, teach. All of this is gone. And there's
Right.
no dollar figure you can put on this.
no, no. And the emotional that they have to go through. I mean, hell, my dad's been gone 10 years. I was in my 50s when I lost my dad. And there are still days. It's like, why couldn't I have longer with you? You know, and think about what they're going to go through at their ages. Look at that little boy. He's a year old. He was barely
And
even getting to know his daddy.
do you know the Bible says, cry at a birth, rejoice at a death. And I always struggled with that because I thought, wait a minute. And I even made a comment to my mother one time. I said, you know what? Wait a minute. God gave me this person to love and to be with and to share time with and to grow close to. And then he just rips him out of my life. And I'm supposed to be okay with that? Well, we'll never know the why, because that's not for us to know the why. But we need to be thankful for the time that he did give with us.
Well, we can surmise on a positive note the why. It was to open everybody's eyes.
Because we would never let anybody go if that was the case.
How long would it have taken him to get the response that he got for his funeral if he didn't die, if he was still alive? How long would it have taken those hundreds of thousands of people to turn up for his, for his funeral? How long would that message have taken? I mean, look, Jesus was 33, I think it was, when he died.
It was
33. And he's been gone for 2,025 years, and there's still people that haven't turned to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for them to say that this was staged, that is not a Christian thing.
No.
They would stage something like this.
No, it's just honor your brother, love your brother, help your brother, be the light for your brother. And if he doesn't, follow the light and you try your best. Guys, this is all we can do. If they go the other direction, all you can do is try. Right? And after that.
Right. And do you know that they said on Newsmax that more colleges have contacted Turning Point?
Yes. He's got more chapters. I think that's amazing. And I'm really happy for that.
I do too. Because,
it's needed.
I mean, and we can say it till we're blue in the face. Nobody has a right to take another person's life.
No.
And we can say it till we're blue in the face. We know it's the truth, but that's not going to stop it.
No, because evil
not going to stop it.
Well, not within us, but evil lurks around us all the time.
Right. And I mean, it is what it is. If you keep putting yourself in dangerous,
that's incredible.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know it was that high, but okay, that's awesome. If you put yourself in dangerous situations, you're taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a choice you make. If you keep yourself with the people that aren't risk takers and, just, I mean, I know innocent people get taken every day by home invasions and walking down the street and everything else. But a good majority of it is basically what I'm trying to say is if you're going to go and you're going to go do stupid shit, opposed to staying at home and being a Christian and not going to the bars and not, doing all that. Yes, I know schools get shot. Yes, I know churches get shot. I know all of that.
That's horrible. It's all horrible. That that the enemy is running rampant right now. We know that he is. We know that he's out there and he's running rampant and he's
Horrible.
spewing hate and evil and division. And all we can do instead of getting angry, standing on our pedestal and start fighting, physically fighting back, the best weapon we have is to pray. Because
Right.
it's going to take God to turn this around.
Right. And that's interesting that you said that, because I said that just to my mother because of what she's going through. She's like, why is this happening now? Why? And I said, did you ever think that it was a lesson for you to open your eyes to see what is around you? Because
we
now,
have to do
now
what's
you're
right.
seeing the
No,
truth.
I went to a Trump rally and I enjoyed it. I had a ball. I took my 80-year-old mother. She was 80 years old at the time, and she had a blast. And it was quiet. And I'm going to tell you something, whether anyone knows it or not. If you've been to a Trump rally, they do not serve alcohol at a Trump rally. You cannot, and you're not allowed to bring it in either. It does not get
There's no
served.
point of it. You're not there to party, and
Mhm.
what you do beforehand, that's on you.
It's totally
You
different.
know.
Trump rally.
But it's not meant to be that kind. It's not meant to be a tailgating party.
Right. But again, there's that argument. But we all know that if you go to big events, the likelihood of something crazy like that happening, whether they're drinking or not, Lord knows they don't need to be drinking to do it.
Right. Right.
You're putting yourself in a situation. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Remember the man that killed the Trump? Well, okay. How about this one? Do you know Destiny made the comment? Did anyone, and I don't even know if I can even bring this out because this is so much hate for someone to say that my brain can't even go around it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Destiny made the comment. Did anyone check those children who drowned in Texas to see if they were pregnant?
What does that have to do with anything?
Like they were living in sin, and all the pedophiles were doing their thing. I mean, come on. Sick. This is what I'm telling you. Sick. Some deranged mind is going to come up with something like that.
There's always going to be people that do have legitimate illnesses, and there's always people that are going to have their own ideologies, and and there's nothing you can do about it. It's been through the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
But all we can do is keep spreading the good, positive news.
Right. And say our prayers like we do.
Right.
And no, I'm not saying be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. I don't expect anybody to be a doormat.
Right.
I'm not going to be a doormat. My mouth runs at both ends. I won't be a doormat. But I will try to put a little bit of light on a bad situation.
Right. I used to try and do that with cracking jokes or something.
Yeah, I mean, laughter is the only cure to depression.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't you ever noticed that when you are totally depressed, if you watch something funny, that it brings you out of that? It brings you out of that.
No, when I was going through my depression, I didn't think it was funny.
Well, now something on TV.
Now I'm good, and I watch videos and just laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And I send them to my son all day. I don't do it all day. I shouldn't say all day, but I send them to my son, and he's like, my phone's ding, 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 ding. Stop it! And I'm like, they're funny. Open them, look at them, watch them. I don't like seeing people get hurt, but when somebody goes ass over tin cups over their handlebars, that's funny because they hit a parked car. I'm sorry. It's funny.
Well, the Three Stooges poking each other, they laughed about that too.
Right.
Um, I guess my bottom line here, guys, is it's all about us armoring up with the power of God, and know that the power of God is better than any weapon that man has ever made.
Keep the armor
And
on.
and it says in the Bible, and those who call out my name, there will I be, and then I will hear from on high and heal their land.
Right.
We can't ignore it. We can't ignore it. What we have to do is we have to armor up, say our prayers. Why question? Why question? We already know the evil's out there, right? We already know the evil's out there. So
Definitely.
the best weapon we have in our arsenal is prayer. Because you know what? We've got one of the strongest warriors in the world on our side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we got.
Right. And I think I explained to you guys that I was a doubter, not a non-believer. I was a doubter in the power of prayer, because it was always, if anybody heard the song Jelly Roll, that I only talk to God when I need a favor. It's kind of like where I was at. But I mean, I prayed, but not like I should have been praying until I got sick. I now believe in the power of prayer,
Absolutely.
because it was
Absolutely.
always, my mom prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for and you can't change with prayer. What is set in stone for God, we can't change. So all the prayers in the world, God was not going to listen to save my brother. It was his destiny to be in heaven. So, and it took me, and I might be saying it wrong, but it took me a while to understand that, and I got down on my hands and knees when I got better, and I thanked God for healing me. I've never done that. I've never done that.
I've done that quite a bit. I'm on my knees a lot more than I'm ever on my
Well,
feet.
I'm saying I've never thanked him for healing.
Right. I mean, there you go. There's your warrior. There's your warrior. That's who we've got on our side. And let no man, don't ever let any man think that they're stronger or better or can create better or do better than the good Lord, because you know what? You can't. You can't.
Well, that's why we have that little word faith.
Yes. Faith, the size of a mustard seed, can move a mountain. Think about that. I'm not saying exactly the words, but it's there.
Right.
All it takes is faith of a mustard seed. Do you know how small a mustard seed is?
And how big a mountain is?
Right. That's all it takes. Because you know what? The warrior is behind us 100%. And all he has to do is hear. And he will come and he will heal our land.
Right.
And insane. Go ahead.
If God can move a mountain, think of what he can do. I mean,
yeah.
If he created the mountain and then decided to move the mountain, which I truly believe he must have fallen asleep or something, that we have no mountains in Michigan. Just kidding.
We don't have any in Texas either.
But mountains are just so majestic to me. It's like a mysterious, because they always have like that misty cloud type fog or whatever over them.
It's amazing. Mountains are beautiful. But when you see the mountains, then you come and you see the ocean, you think, wow, what a world God created.
And you know what?
If you want a different scene, go somewhere else and you'll see something totally different.
That's what I loved about living in Virginia. I was 1 hour away from the ocean, and I was 1 hour away from the mountains. So I got the best of both worlds in Virginia.
Yeah.
Because I can be my beach girl, and nothing like sitting on a beach with just hearing the birds and the ocean and the waves.
And the waves come in and the seagulls, and I mean, it's so tranquil. Mm-hmm. It is so tranquil. But then you know what? You go into the mountains and you lay on the ground underneath the trees and you watch the light come through the mountains, through the trees, the tips of the trees, and the fresh breeze and the scent of the pine. It's all beautiful. If everyone could just soak in the beauty of what God created instead of looking at how to destroy it, we would be a lot better off.
Do you really think Palladians could have created something like that? I'm
No.
just putting that out there.
No, I don't. I believe God created it all and wanted us to live in an amazing world, and he gave us an amazing world, and somebody wants to destroy it. Yeah, and then you have a bear run out of the middle, right? Saying, feed me, Seymour.
Sputsy, I moved home from Virginia 25 years ago in 2000. I moved to Virginia in 1998. I got a job and I moved me and my sons and I, whatever. And my older son decided to come back to Michigan after like 6 months. But I moved back home because my grandmother was falling ill. She was getting older, and my dad had had a heart attack, and my mom she had just retired, and she was crying. I don't know how I'm going to do this. My dad's bedroom and my mom's bedroom was upstairs, and my grandmother's was on the main floor. So she was running up and down and over and up, and she was crying to me that, she was probably my age now when this happened. Yeah, 20, 25 years ago. And so, me being the daughter that I am, I gave up my life in Virginia and I moved back home and moved in with my mother to take care of my grandmother and take care of my dad so that she didn't have to be burdened with it all alone. And then I moved out and, did my own thing with my own life. And
that's how I ended up in Texas, guys. All right. So I moved from Wyoming to Texas when they told my father he was 57 years old. He only had 2 years left to live because the altitude was over a mile high. And he had to be on oxygen full time because he was a diesel mechanic. And I said, you know what? Only God knows how much time you have left. We're moving to sea level. Well, when he moved to sea level, okay, now he'd been on his oxygen hose for 2 years at this point. We came to Texas to see how he felt and if he felt any better. And that night he said, I'm not sleeping with this oxygen hose. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is just a test run. Don't be going there.
right.
I don't feel like I need this. And so he slept all night without his oxygen hose. We took him to have his oxygen level checked and he was normal. And I said, okay, well, I guess we found home then. So we went back home, sold our houses, 2 4-bedroom U-Hauls. We're going down the road, coming to Texas. And that's why we ended up in Texas.
Thank you.
We had 14 years with him. And we were blessed to have those 14 years.
Absolutely.
They were like, wait a minute, your houses were all paid for there. Well, yeah, but you know what? Can you put a dollar amount on somebody else's life? I can't. And I'm going to be flat honest with you. I was greedy enough to get every moment I could.
Right.
And I did. Right. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. So that's what brought me. The same thing brought us to Texas. Right. Sold everything and off we went. Every day is a blessing. When you get up and you're still breathing, then you know what? Thank the good Lord that He's breathed that oxygen into your lungs and you're ready to go for another day.
Right.
And hopefully make an impact on somebody that day. Right. Hopefully.
And watch for signs, guys. Watch for signs. God's working on us every day.
Every day.
And watch for signs because I
little
know
ones, big ones.
Sometimes when I got my car accident and I was deemed disabled that I could never work again, and I was in my early 50s, I was like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Why? I now know why. I was there to help my mom with my dad. I was there to take care of my mom now. If I was doing this, if I was doing working, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Right.
And he needed me there.
And you
So
know,
you get your answers eventually, because it's like, and all of a sudden, like a light bulb went on, and it's like, this is why. This is why. Okay, I get it now.
now that I've moved here and been here for a while, I've met some of the most beautiful people that I love and cherish, and I would have never met them
Right.
had I had stayed. So you know, God works in mysterious ways. We all know that.
Yeah, I mean,
And however it works, and I'm thankful and blessed for everything I've got.
and it's just like our relationship.
Yeah.
I live in Michigan. She lives in Texas. Have we ever seen each other face to face? Nope.
Yeah. Well, if
But
you-
she's my
God
ride
is
or die.
Yeah.
She's my ride or die.
There you go. You know what? God puts people in our path and in our life for a reason. And I'm blessed to have each and every one of you. I feel that way
Absolutely.
truly within my heart. And now I'm going to quit. I'm going to get off my pedestal so y'all can go pray.
Me
No.
too. I'm sorry, guys. I have a lot to say the last few times.
I love
And I'm
you all.
sorry. But
No, it's all good. I love you all.
I love you
And
guys.
I will see you guys on Thursday. And I'll just say your goodbyes.
Goodbye, everybody. You have a great, great night and have a good week. And we'll see you in a few days. Hit that
And-
like, share, and subscribe.
See you guys Thursday.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
From shady news